so Tim can go back to gaming or whatever he's doing.
Welcome
Welcome to Shooting After Dark. My name's Ben. We're here to talk about shooting. On deck today, a very special treat, live from Austin, Texas, Tim Myers.
Howdy.
Say hi. Not only is Tim a world-renowned grandmaster shooter, he also runs a pro.
Yes.
Yes. Also here, Mr. Joel Park and Mr. Juan Kim. Guys, unfortunately, no one gives a fuck about what you guys have to say about shooting this week, because we're here to talk about the greatest show known to man, the SHOT Show, which Tim and I attended.
Yep.
All right. So what is the SHOT Show then? It appears to be just rows of vendor tables and a way for people to social network and take selfies. What is SHOT Show?
It is rows of vendor tables and ways for people to social network and take selfies. And I will say this, there are some people there that actually are doing some business. You get to see some of the vendors, right, Tim?
Yeah, you see vendors and you get to see new products and stuff that should be coming out that hasn't come out, like the Dylan RL 1100 that was announced last year and we still don't have it, but but that happens. That's not super uncommon at SHOT. People will kind of push out new products, and sometimes it happens, sometimes they don't. But
how many people are in attendance there, Tim? For those who haven't,
I don't know. It seems like a ton, but
it is a shitload. I mean, it's tens of thousands of people.
Oh yeah, for sure. It's
my perception
everywhere, all the countries.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, my perception is it's more for Tim. And I'm just like, if I want to go hang out, it's okay.
It's explicitly not for you, Joel.
Yeah, you're not supposed to go.
You're not supposed to go.
Yeah, so it's like, hey, we're making this new holster or press or whatever, and then you want like guys like Tim to come see it, and then if you're interested, you'll order it for your business. Is that fair? Is that a good way to say it?
Yeah, they're looking to sign up new dealers and take orders there.
Okay.
So, I mean, some people like gun shops do real business there. Maybe they place a yearly order, an annual order there. Some places are just there to kind of push out new products or launch new products. But if anybody's ever been to the NRA show, it's basically the same thing, just quadruple it. It's a lot bigger.
It's a lot bigger than NRA, but it's a lot less crowded at the same time.
Yeah, it is. It's true.
And also NRA show, anybody can go there, but
right, that's what makes it crowded.
And I think you can buy stuff at NRA, but you can't actually buy anything at the show, at SHOT Show.
I have an equal amount in both of those, which would be zero.
Yeah.
Equal amount of interest, rather.
I mean, I've been to SHOT twice now, and I'm not that excited, but I don't really care that much. But I mean, it's completely the opposite to what my personality is interested in, you know?
All right.
Well, anyway, that's just me. So let's talk about the new stuff that's coming, which is not a huge list, but there's always like 4 or 5 things that USPSA people might be interested in. So what do you think is the most interesting product, Tim? I think we'll probably agree on this too.
That the Dan Wesson DWX.
Yeah, bro. Everybody's talking about that. What
did
you think?
Most interesting product. It is. All right, let's see if Tim and I are on the same page. I think we are. It feels to me like a $3,000 STI. For better or worse, it's like this is a very nice pistol. Imagine it like what the STIs were like a couple grand when they came with the plastic grips, right, Tim?
The Edge.
Yeah.
So imagine it's a metal gripped one of those, and it's like $3,000. It looks to me and feels very much like that, except it's like $1,800 at retail is what I think it'll be.
Yeah,
so
it's going to be a winner. That's
a very interesting product. It really is. They're gonna. Do they have 9 coming? They have 9 now, and they're getting 40, or what did they say about that, Tim?
My understanding is they're launching them both at the same time. So there's a full size, and then there's a compact, which is not really my wheelhouse, but I believe they're both coming out at the same time.
Yeah. So there's not much to say about it. It's not that interesting of a product aside from that it's there and it's back.
It's nice. I mean, it takes some 1911 parts. So from my understanding was the 1911 hammer, firing pin spring, firing pin strut, some stuff like that, and even safeties. I think it takes Shadow 2 grips. It takes a Checkmate magwell. So there should be some compatibility right out of the gate, which also makes it kind of interesting. That right out of the box.
They
You
use
can throw some goodies on it.
PO9 magazines.
Yeah, PO9 mags, correct. Yes, but the grips are Shadow 2, and the magwell is also like a checkmate. So
Just me feeling it though. I think I prefer a TS.
Really?
To that thing? Yeah. I mean, TS is similar to the Shadow 2, right? Feels similar.
Yeah,
to me.
I guess. I don't know. I think it's a winner. I think it's a very good option for those guys wanting to tinker around in limited or shoot limited period, especially if you already shoot a Shadow 2.
No, dude, I think this gun is
It's priced well.
It's super interesting for the price.
Sure.
Well, it's not a gun that you have to have a gunsmith built or modify. My understanding is it's something like the regular guy could work on or change parts on. So that's huge too.
Yeah. Seems good.
No, I mean, I think that we're going to get to the point where having a custom built $5,000 pistol is just not a thing that makes sense anymore. I'm not sure how much sense it makes now. I mean, it makes some sense for like open and limited, but it's less and less all the time because the factory options are really getting a lot more on point. So, like maybe that'll go away.
And by the way, we have some on order, so as soon as they're launched, hopefully I'll have some to sell.
Nice.
Yeah, so that's interesting. Then. Yeah.
Like it's a good enough product that I'm willing to buy into the Dan Wesson brand just to get it.
Really?
Right?
Yeah.
Because if I wait to go through distribution, I won't have them. I'll be late to the game. So I really liked it. Yeah, it's going to do well.
All right. So the other booth that we like to talk about, the Tanfoglio booth.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing real crazy this year, except for whatever Joel's going to ask you about.
Well, what's the Italian firearms group? I don't know this. It's not Tanfoglio, it's a different company, or they are related, or what's the...
It's more like an EA, it's like a Texas EAA.
Yeah, so they're an importer. EAA is an importer of Tanfoglio guns. So IFG is also an importer. So their guns are actually brought in under is it TF, Ben? Is that what they put it down as? Not Tanfoglio. They call it a Defiant line. So
it's branded differently. Well, the EAA brands it as Witness.
Yes,
so
that's true.
It's not branded as Tanfoglio at all in the U.S.
Yeah, but they are Tanfo. So they have those two newer ones you may have seen, the Stock Master and then the Limited Master. So the Stock, I actually visited with Troy McManus at SHOT Show after he left the booth, and he said the Stock Master would be approved for production. So, I mean, obviously that makes it a far more interesting product to us.
So that means definitely there's 2,000 of them in the country right now.
No comment.
Well,
I mean, because that's what that means mathematically is there has to be 2,000 of them before he would say something like that. So that's excellent.
So Tim, tell me about the gun. It's got a light rail like a stock 3, right? But it has a bull barrel like a stock 2. Is that right?
Yeah. So really, what it looks like is a hard chrome stock 3 with slide cuts and a bull barrel. That's essentially what.
I think that's literally what it is.
Yeah.
So it's a 5-inch barrel.
Correct. Yeah. It looks nice. I got some on order. They're coming in tomorrow. So
from through IFG, there's some more Tanfoglio options. Some of them small frame, some of them large.
Correct.
But just mixing and matching of existing features is what it looked like to me in ways that people might find interesting, but don't really matter that much. But okay, I mean that's now a thing. And then also at the Tanfoglio booth, because there's an EAA booth, there's IFGs inside of Tanfoglio's booth at SHOT Joel. If you're trying to figure out how this works, and then Tanfoglio has a booth. What it looks like to me is Tanfoglio is going to continue doing what they've been doing maybe the last 6-7 years that I've been shooting their guns, which is every year the guns come out, they're a little bit different and they're a little bit better in ways that are difficult to figure out when you first start handling them. So the finishes are a little bit different. I see there's newer hammers coming, newer grips. Some of that stuff I've been testing, and the rest of it I'll be getting at some point this year. So like the Tanfoglio guns are steadily improving in a way that I like. Well, you know how it is, Joel. Like if you know what year your gun was made, you kind of know
yeah.
And now I will say I've seen a big shift since I've been shooting their guns since 2013, and they have improved substantially out of the box. So I do like to see that. And the new Stock 2 Extremes I think what I'll be shooting this year is they're black or they're blued Stock 2 Extremes that are coming. So you don't have any of those on order yet, do you, Tim?
No, but I told them like those black and blue guns you have. Like I've never been able to get those. So, I mean, they're cool, but they're just impossible to get. So,
The limited guns I have.
yeah, the limited ones. I'm sure the stock twos I could probably get those. Well, you don't have yours yet, so maybe I can't get them. I don't know.
Not yet. They said the extremes maybe in the next week or two for me. So,
and I didn't really inquire about the optics ready one because it would be too heavy for our sport anyway, so it wasn't really concerning to me.
Yeah, no, not that interesting. What else? Sierra Speed had some new stuff, right, Tim?
Yeah, so they have what looks like a bracket that's going to allow you to run those mag pouches bullet nose out, which I think would be just a great option.
So this is similar to the single stack adapters for some other mag pouches, for their pouches, isn't it?
Sure. So it would probably be an add-on item, and it looked like something they just made for SHOT Show. I'm not sure, so there's no price point or anything on it yet, but I suspect that product's actually going to happen.
No, it is. Based on our conversations, I think it will.
Yeah.
But the price on that thing has to be right to make it interesting.
Sure, yeah, it has to be pretty inexpensive, but it looked good. I mean, the Sierra Speed mag pouches are fairly resilient. The material's thick; it holds up well. So, I mean, it'll be good to have that option because the other players in the game can do that. So, that'll help people who have them.
We'll save the Alien for a little bit later because we got a question about it.
Well,
Yeah.
Tell me about the DAA RF 1000 killer or clone or whatever. The primer killer.
Primer Pro thing.
Yeah.
Well, we actually had ours shipped to us today, so I'll probably have those by the time this podcast drop. I'll already have them.
Okay. Do you know if they're priced comparably to what the
They're-
Dylan product is?
They're a good bit cheaper. Let me look. I think they're like $200 or something.
Oh wow.
But hang on, let me check that because I
Oh,
could be
What?
lying.
They're
You heard
$50.
Tim said it here.
$50,
Here.
buy one get one free at the pro shop.
It's $199, so it is $200.
Oh, wow.
So basically, it's a good bit less. I mean, I've seen the videos that Double Alpha's put out on them, and it looks pretty slick. It looks like it actually works pretty well, and it's. I know they had a slight issue with some sort of a spacer, but apparently, I think that they fixed that before any of these shipped to the U.S. So that would be more of a European problem than a U.S. problem. So the product that we get in our hands should be good to go,
That's
from
an
my understanding.
attractive price point though.
It is a very good price point versus $350 or whatever the RF 100 costs. I mean, I have one of those. It's nice, but
Dude, I have the RF. Like, I realize it's expensive, but I can't imagine like
I can't. Yeah, not having it
like
at this
picking up
point.
primers one at a time in the tube. I'm like, man, I could never go
Yeah.
back at this point.
I agree. I couldn't go back.
So yeah, at $200, I think that's, even if it has a little bit of issues, I would still think that'd be
Mhm.
for half the price, well worth it. Which
Yeah.
cheap anyway.
Yeah, what's the other one, the handheld one that people had that was really
Fiber Prime.
inexpensive?
They're like
Yeah,
$50.
that one I heard had a lot of issues. I never personally used it, but I heard it didn't work that well. So this would be nice to have a different price point option that looks like it should work.
You're talking about this one?
Yes.
Yes.
Does it work? Does it work for you?
It works only the chrome primers,
Yeah.
the yellow or like bronze primers, the
Like the
ones that are not
Winchester.
slick. Yeah, Winchester or Fiocchi, those get hang up all the time.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
So I don't really have that problem with the RF 100. You can kind of throw anything you want at it, and it tends
Yeah.
to work. So I'm hoping, looking at this, the Double Alpha one, it should work pretty well.
Cool.
Let's hope so. The other booth that had a lot of shit in it, I don't know how much you looked around there, Tim, was SIG.
No, I didn't. I didn't really poke around there too much.
I didn't even understand all the different guns and how many different optics they had.
Yeah, they have a lot of
Like
optics.
they had mini optics and large optics and like tons of varieties. I could not understand what was happening there. But I should say like I got an X5 Legion
I was
a
going to
few
bring that
weeks
up.
ago.
Well, we
Yeah, you
shot that when we were there. I'm like, hey Ben, are you gonna shoot this gun? He's like, well, yeah, at some point. I'm like, if we're going to the range, can I shoot this?
Yeah.
Like, no, I was like genuinely impressed with the gun. It feels right in the hand.
Everybody that's fucked around with mine has liked it.
Yeah, I think it's a great gun.
That feels like a very easy gun to recommend to like guys getting in. It's like, yeah, just get that and get some pouches and whatever. That'll be like right on the list, like with like stock 2s, Shadow 2s, those
Yeah.
things. They're pretty
Glock
easy guns to
34s.
recommend. Glock 34.
PPQ
yeah,
steel
great.
frame.
PPQ steel frame, I think, are good.
It's funny though, is I probably sold more Legions in the last few months than I have any other gun. They've been pretty hot.
Dude, shooting Bens, I was impressed.
They're good.
Well, I
they
think
make a lot of sense.
It's also a price point, right? For $900 with all the mags. I mean, it's
Well, how about this, Tim? Take price out of it.
still
The trigger was fine. Like I really,
If
it's
you
already got
want-
adjustable sights.
If you
Yeah.
like a polymer gun, you know, it's like it's good. If you like steel, it's still pretty heavy.
yeah.
So it's like, well, I mean, it seems like it'd make a lot of people happy.
You know, we didn't go by the Walther booth because Wanzik wasn't there. But do they
I
have any
went
new
by.
Wanzik?
Say it again.
Do they have anything new?
Yeah, it's a Q4, basically 4-inch gun.
Okay.
The same as Q5, but yeah, it's shorter.
I got a Q5 also a few weeks ago.
Is it steel frame or no?
Yeah,
Mine's
still frame.
well,
Oh,
I currently
oh,
have a plastic Q5. I don't like it as much as Wanzik steel framed one.
Yes.
But
Huh.
what
So-
are you gonna do?
I have a question. Did you guys see the Beretta open gun?
I didn't go Beretta booth. It was pretty packed in the Beretta booth.
Yeah, I only saw videos, but they were saying they are shipping the Beretta open gun to the U.S. like end of the year, if I remember correctly, or next year, something like that.
Did they say a price point?
No.
Have you messed with the DASA, just the 90, whatever they call the 92, Tim? Have you messed with
90,
one of
the
those yet?
92X.
Oh, that's what they. Okay.
Yeah, I've shot one of those. It feels top heavy to me. The
Okay.
gun. Truthfully, I'd prefer. Kim shot one too.
Yeah.
I prefer the Elite 2s that I already had.
Really?
If you want me to shoot you straight, I prefer that.
Why?
I don't know. I just like the ergonomic, like the weight and balance of it. I just liked more.
And it's not just due to your experience, though.
No, I don't think so. It would take me. I could get used to the 92X, but it feels strange. It feels very top heavy. Is that fair to say, Mr. Kim?
Yeah.
It feels strange to me transitioning it around, and it would take some getting used to.
Okay.
And before I shot it, I heard good things about the trigger, but it didn't impress me.
Well, no, I mean, you know how it is. Like, you know, if you shoot a gun, you don't really. I'm not picky about triggers, but when people are like, it's the best trigger ever. I'm not gonna do nothing to it. And you're like, and I shoot it, and I'm like, no, it is not that trigger. It's fine, whatever. I don't give a shit, but it's not like, you know, I'm not impressed. Anyway, all right. So, is there anything else you wanted to talk about, Tim, aside from the alien? Because we got a question about that.
Not that I can think of, honestly.
There it is, Joel. A few days just condensed into what you actually need to know about.
Yeah. Well, I guess, one last question, I guess, with the IFG guns, because it's still just like confusing. If I was looking to get into production and I wanted to do like the Tanfoglio route, the way I'm hearing you say is there would not be a wrong decision. Like if I want to stock 2, stock 3, one of the IFG guns, like any of those should be safe.
I would stay away from
255,
small
right?
frame.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah,
IFG
I'm
is
kinda
importing
with you on that.
small frame. I would not buy a small frame personally.
Do you get are some models only small or only large, or is there a mix
No,
with?
I from talking to the guy again, this isn't a real firm, but it seemed like everything they were doing,
Yeah.
you could get small frame or large frame.
Okay.
But with how like availability works manufacturing,
Mm-hmm.
like I just using history as a guide, he might get like 100 of some baller ass gun, but it's large frame, and then those get bought out, and then now you want one, and then the next batch is small frame or whatever, and you're like, okay, you're gonna wait or something. You know what I mean?
Well,
Yep. That's good.
well,
for
large
people to
frame
know.
stuff is just more common here,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah.
So,
I wouldn't piss with small frame for that reason alone.
yeah.
Okay. That's good.
Yeah,
to know.
but
There's nothing wrong with it. It's fine. It's just you want it to be compatible with other stuff.
yeah, for sure.
But you have more options, which is great, right? So you have your stock 2s, your stock 3s, your limited pros, this limited the stock master. You have a lot of options, which is kind of cool. I think the stock master is going to be a cool gun, but I have to shoot one. But I mean, it looks awesome. I like the hard chrome.
Me too.
Yeah.
It looks cool.
I mean, it looks cool,
great.
but all of those things on it are features we've seen.
Sure, yeah, that's not unique, except for it's a 5-inch gun with the bull barrel. That's
But it's
Different.
still, we've seen bull
Yeah,
barrels,
you're
we've seen
correct.
5-inch, we've seen slide,
you've seen
cool-
slide cuts,
like
yeah.
really cool slide cuts on Tanfoglios. They do a good job with the slide cuts.
Sure.
The Shooting USA guys are impressed with mine, that limited nationals. They're like, oh, I'm like, yeah, I didn't modify this gun in any way. They're like, what about those slide cuts? I'm like, those were there when I got it. Didn't do that shit.
Yeah, that's true. You're right, but there's a lot of options. It's pretty cool.
Yeah. So that pretty well covers it, huh? Well, we appreciate that, Tim. There's one more question that's going to put you on the spot. So I'm going to read it to you now. Hey, I love your podcast and learn a lot listening to it. Do you think that the Lago Arms Alien is going to revolutionize handgun design due to its low bore axis? Do you think a gas piston delayed mechanism is capable of handling high round counts and is practical to use in USPSA due to possible heat issues? Those are the questions put before us.
Well, I think Wanda has actually shot it.
Mm-hmm. But it was 2018, and I've heard they made some modification on the recoil spring because at the time they had a little bit of issue with that.
It wasn't running, right, back then?
Not very reliably. I remember at least like five rounds I had malfunction, somewhere around it. I shot a couple max. Probably a little less than 100, maybe 50 rounds to 100, somewhere around it. And then it was mainly, it was all same malfunction related to the spring. It was undersprung because how the slide was so light and also the barrel's fixed. So the amount of spring the force spring handling at that point was not like conventional gun. It's way less the spring tension required to cycle that light slide. But it sounds like they figured it out now. But I don't know about the reliability because when I see the spring, it's really small diameter, and I think
it's about the diameter of a hammer spring, of a CZ hammer spring. It looks more like that. I mean, it's not heavy duty, but it looks like a CZ hammer spring, a little bit longer.
Yes.
Well, what do you think? Do you want to switch to this thing, Kim?
When I shot it, I was impressed about the recoil, but it wasn't like if I shoot this, I will win the world shoot. It wasn't like that because even if the flat gun, the gun doesn't have much flat, but still the force transfer through your body and your joints will still flop. Even if you try to lock your joints, the force at the end is about the same. So your wrist will move up and down, and the gun will almost never stay completely flat no matter what gun you shoot because of your joints moving up and down. So it wasn't like, oh, I have to shoot this gun. But it's good in terms of recoil.
Yeah. Well, I'm kind of inclined to think that it won't revolutionize things, but it might. See, the real problem with that gun is the cost.
I was going to bring that up.
But like looking at it, I don't think that it can't that style of gun can't be made cheaper. They just kind of built some pieces of the gun upside down. Is that what the guy was explaining to us, Tim?
Yeah. So when I was asking about the gun,
I mean, they disassembled them for us. We looked at them. I don't like it could be made cheaper, like at scale. I think.
Yeah, I agree with that. I would think so, but I don't know because he acted like the first 500 they're importing are going to be that package that we saw.
Yeah,
we know where it has like the extra top end for $5,000. So he said the first. I mean, that's a lot.
It's a lot of money.
$5,000 is not inexpensive. So they have a special slide that would make it carry optics legal. They showed us. So it's actually on the slide that moves, not in the top like you'd seen before. But the problem is it sticks the dot pretty high up. In order to do that, the dot seems like it was floating up there pretty high. But I think it's part of the package. That $5,000 package is you get that top end.
Well, I mean, for it to revolutionize handguns, they all have to get built like that. And it'd be like you have to make a $600 pistol that way, which I don't know if that's feasible or not. The other thing we don't know about is reliability. I have heard about heat issues where these things heat up quickly when you're shooting them. But that's more of a training thing where a lot of us are shooting two guns in training now anyway for that reason. So I'm not sure how big of a deal that is.
Yeah.
I mean, I know I shoot 2 guns in practice for that reason. So
I'm under the impression that this thing was ruled as legal for IPSC. Is this correct?
Yep.
But when I asked the gentleman, he told me it was a single action firearm.
Yeah, he told me that too.
He said it's a hammer, a
And
reverse hammer.
He showed me the mechanism,
He
how
showed
it
me
works,
too,
and I'm
yeah.
like, this should absolutely not be production legal.
But yeah. So I'm not really sure how that's going to work for the U.S. market.
Well, I think we kind of. I mean, the people we have making those decisions, I don't think there's any logic to it. They'll just do whatever they want to do. And it certainly seems to be more towards allowing the things rather than disallowing things. I think the fact is the rules aren't written for this gun, and the guys writing the rules take a look at that, before they do anything. But probably decisions will get made, and then they'll just kind of roll with it.
I think the price point alone is going to be a big problem. I mean, it's not that it's not interesting, but at $5,000, I think they said the one that's not in the kit form will be $3,000, but that's still pretty stout. I mean, that's
no the
I
price.
thought it was still 4. I thought it was still 4 without the kit.
Oh, is that what it is?
Well, it wasn't like I Googled it, but I don't know if that was correct information or not.
Every
You're
number
probably
I've
correct.
heard has been high. It's been a lot for a pistol. I'm not terribly price sensitive, but even I would be like, ooh, like I don't know.
Well, and then being able to get parts, you'd want to be able to have a steady. I need extra extractors. I need extra springs. Like I've got every spring. I could respring my whole gun right now.
Sure.
So have extra parts. Then availability is a big thing too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and it takes a little while for that to happen.
But I had at least 2 people sponsored by Alien last year when I shot Extreme Open. Both guns ran pretty okay, so at least for the match it lasted. But I don't know about many, like tens of thousand rounds after. I don't know. I mean, any gun after tens of thousand, you'll start changing springs and stuff. So.
Yeah, these are not normal springs either. This isn't something where you can simply go to Wolf or iSmite and get a spring. This is kind of a custom thing. So,
It's a cool idea at least.
Yeah, no, it's super interesting. It's just, I mean, if you're asking me right now, will this thing revolutionize handgun design? No, probably not. But, maybe.
It's cool. It's something
probably
different.
not. It's very interesting, though.
Yeah.
I suspect the gun won't break all the time, but we'll see.
And
It
I can
feels
see
nice.
other
I mean,
companies
pretty heavy duty.
make something similar though.
I know one good shooter that trained with one for quite a while, and he didn't really have many complaints. He didn't have a whole lot to go. He said it heated up a lot in practice. Martin?
Yep.
Yeah, like he's really good, and he's trained with it for a while. And he's like, yeah, it heats up in practice quick, but he didn't fuck his guns up or anything. He shot him a lot, so I trust him.
Yeah.
If he says they're good, they're good. Well, gentlemen, what a fantastic podcast. Thank you so much for coming on, Tim. I know you
Sure.
hate taking time away from your family. You're trying to be a good dad, and now you can go back to doing that. You can tell your kid you love her again, and whatever you say.
We need to have Tim on more often.
Tim doesn't want to come on more often.
I know. We still need to anyway.
Tim doesn't want to come on. Tim doesn't want to be here right now. That nervous laughter is telling you he doesn't want to be.
No, it's fine.
So thank you for coming on, Tim. Thank you, Joel. Mr. Kim, great to see you. Tim, do you have slots for classes in February?
Yes. So the class with Wanzik and Ben is full, I believe.
Oh shit.
Yeah, I maybe have one slot left, but that could be gone. And
There's
then
a couple
I have
of skills and drills, huh?
Skills and Drills has some that has some skill requirements, so it tends to weed some people out. But I do have slots for that and the Austin, Texas area at the end of February. So just go to Ben's page and you can get some information and contact me there.
Awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Well, sounds pretty good to me. Thank you so much. And if you have any questions, go to bensugar.com. Send them to me. We'll be happy to answer.